Hello wonderful world of YouTube, I am PJ Mills, and on this video I'll be reviewing the album Forget and Not Slow Down by Relient K. This album was released on October 6th of 2009, so it's nothing too new. I want to go ahead and start this album review out with a warning. If the only type of Relient K songs you enjoy are songs like Sadie Hawkins Dance, Pressing On, and In Love with the 80s, this album is probably not for you. At this point it's very apparent that Relient K's sound has shifted. Their older stuff had a very wild punk sound to it, and their newer stuff has a more mature alternative rock sound to it. But if you really enjoyed the album 7 years ago, then chances are you'll enjoy the new album, because there are many similarities between these two albums. For example, I Don't Need a Soul and Therapy sound a whole lot like Come Right Out and Say It and The Best Thing off of 7 years ago. Also, Part of It and If You Believe Me sound a whole lot like I'm Taking You With Me, Bite My Tongue, and Up and Up. Then the song Over It sounds a lot like Give Until There's Nothing Left. And also the last track is centered around the piano a lot like the song Deathbed. And lastly, the song Sahara sounds an awful lot like I Need You and Devastation and Reform. So as you can see, there are a lot of similarities, which is not a bad thing, but it is a good thing to know. Random fun fact about the album cover, this is actually an oil painting done by Matt Thiessen's uncle. Definitely pretty cool. Alright, now it's time to bring up a rather negative aspect of the album. Before I went out to buy the CD, I had looked it up on iTunes and came to discover that there were 15 tracks on the album. That's pretty awesome. After listening to the album, I came to discover that 4 of those tracks were actually not even songs. They were basically either intros or outros or little tiny mini songs. Like a little 40-second song. I mean, like, really? That's not even a song. And I also came to discover that the last song was divided into 2 tracks. So instead of the last track being the last song, it was 2 tracks that made up the last song. Why would you cut a song in half? I mean, just make it be a longer song. Ugh, I don't understand. So there's only like 10 real songs on the album. When you think you're gonna get 15 songs and you end up only getting 10, it's kind of disappointing. There's nothing wrong with having a track that's just the intro to the song. But there are way too many tracks on this album that are either intros or outros. Alright, now that I've told you that rather disappointing aspect of the album, I'm going to tell you something really awesome about it. Relient K made Forget and Not Slow Down in a small recording studio somewhere out in the mountains of Tennessee. And you know what? This album takes you there. I don't really know the best way to describe it, but when I listen to this album, I honestly feel like I'm in a small recording studio out in the mountains of Tennessee. Okay, so my favorite song off the album is gonna have to be track 3, which is Candlelight. Very catchy song, and the lyrics are really quite clever. If you're anything like me, when I hear a song, I get music video ideas. And this song just screams that it needs to be made into a music video. My least favorite song off the album, not including the intros and outros, is gonna have to be If You Believe Me, which is track 13. Kind of a boring song and doesn't really grab me. Alright, so I give Relient K's album Forget and Not Slow Down a 6 out of 10. Now I know you're thinking that's a terrible score. The reason I'm not giving it like an 8 or a 9 is because 1, the album deceived me into thinking I was going to get 15 songs when I actually only got 10. Second reason, there are a few songs off the album that aren't that great. There are some very good songs on this album, but a few of them are just kind of so-so. So that's why I'm giving it a 6 out of 10. Good, but Relient K has definitely done better. Gotta love albums that fold out. Land ho! Hello, Mr. Camera. Quick, throw the oar in the water. Listen, buddy, I'm real sorry I threw that oar in the water, but if I didn't, the beaver definitely would have attacked us.
You know you want to.